So since you and me are the ones, that's great. We never did this. That's
I
great.
know. We haven't for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. So this is
Well,
a miracle deep dive, and the thing is here, I'm here with Angel, so I'll make it official now. I'm here with Angel. She's a practitioner from Missouri, and a long history of great miracle work. Absolutely lovely. So she just reminded me. You just reminded me of the idea. The simplicity of healing is really allowing the love of God to be the love of God. That's what you said, right? That's what so spoke to you on Thursday, last Thursday. In fact, I repeated that yesterday too. It's like, this is not trying to learn tricks. This is not about getting it. No, this is melting into the love of God, and everything takes care of itself, because when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. That's the lesson of today. In all simplicity, that is what is occurring. If if I'm healed, I'm not healed alone, because I literally melt into oneness. I melt into that what I truly am. I suddenly everything starts to make sense, because I'm not denying it for just that moment. I'm not resisting it. I'm not fighting it. I'm not trying to get ideas about it. No, I'm just completely, say, yeah, immersed in the experience of that. That has all the healing power you can possibly imagine, because literally it is your experience of oneness. So, yeah, that is, I want to get back to that all the time, because otherwise you think you have to do something, or to be something, or to develop something, or to use a certain technique and then it will work, or have hopes for the future that it finally will work at that moment. Like, no, 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 it's the other way around. You go within, you allow yourself to be affected by the love of God. Just because you love God. Of course you love God. He created you. He's your father. Now, it is apparently not so common to stand still and actually exercise that. You try think that you need to do a lesson. That's already a distraction. No, you don't do a lesson. The lesson is doing you, and it brings you to the point where you actually feel the love of God. Same with all the healing practice that we so-called practice, but it's just totally amazing. So, Angel, with your yeah approval, I would love to share some ideas that I collected today for this, to get to the bottom of this. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. So, are you healed?
that's such a big question. Uh, I don't I don't know. I had some healing experiences, but I didn't really know what the healing was about. I just had that amazing feeling of unconditional love, which was like nothing I've ever had before.
Yeah,
And it was just the experience. And sometimes I don't realize what's actually happening because if I analyze it, it doesn't work.
yeah,
And so I just know things have changed.
yeah,
And I feel that change. And I feel like in last week's class that it was just your exuberance and connection was just like bringing even more so to all of us that we're just the rest of the day just feeling that exuberance, that love and connection,
yeah,
to,
yeah.
to everything.
So bring it back to your experience then. So when you experience the totality, or the, say, the wholeness or the healing in that moment, could you see that you were healed?
I never looked at it that way, but yes, yeah, because you
Yeah.
even said that. And so I was like, Oh, okay. You know,
So this
it's
is like
just, yeah.
this so this has occurred. You are healed and you are whole and you are perfect, despite the appearances that you might face with your eyes and your ears. It's like this is important to accept because that is a true experience of you, that you don't have to hold back on the old experience of then, but you can come into the realization, like realizing, no, I'm healed. I'm healed and whole and perfect. And the best moment to experience that is right now. So that means that if I set aside my perception, if I set aside my previous dark days or whatever it was, and my future concerns, if I put those aside, I allow myself to open up and in fact bloom again in that experience, because that experience is always with me. So the one moment that you experience a glimpse of that, or that you were in full-blown experience of it, that moment that is what your healing is. That only needs to occur once, you could say, because now you have a reference point where you recognize, oh my God, yes, indeed, I am healed. I forget about it all the time. Oh, that doesn't matter. Now I can remember again. What do I need to do to remember it again? Oh, yeah, wait, my future concerns, I let those go. Oh, my ideas about myself, I let those go. Because I can't help myself. I don't have to become someone else or something. No, I just have to let go of my ideas about myself, so that I can come back to this same space where that will never leave me, that will always be available and will be present in every situation. Now the only training that I do is coming back to that, releasing everything else, coming into, oh yeah, wait a minute, whoa, thank you God for this reminder. This is the miracle. This is the miracle. So on Thursday, for instance, in the How Healing Works, it was like, yeah, so the will of God is accepted. If the will of God is accepted by one of the sonship, since we're one, it is accepted by all. It is not my concern if I do the will of God or not. That is accepted. That is also arranged. It's not my concern. So it's like whatever you try to think about yourself has everything to do with an idea that something still needs to happen for it to be complete. And it's not. It is complete. The will of God is accepted by the Son of God. The healing has taken place. Everything is fulfilled. You're resurrecting. You have been resurrected. You're ascending. You're at home in heaven. Nothing needs to occur for that. Now it's just a matter of bringing that back into your consciousness all the time. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. No, because I'm not separate from anything. If I forget that I'm not separate, I'm in an experience of death. I'm in an experience that I still need to do something in order to become whole again. I am whole. I cannot be but whole. All the rest is made up stuff. Human made up stuff that I think I need to work through in order to optimize it. But if I let go of it, I don't need to do anything with it. I release my mind of everything that I think. Now I come back into my healing experience. Now I experience the love of God. And I'm home in heaven. I am home in heaven. There are not two worlds. There is no such thing as another world. There's only one world, and you're in it. If you forget about it, you think that you're somewhere else. That's all. But there's no such thing as somewhere else. Now this, you can feel that, like, then it just needs to root into your experience. You could say, oh, bring it back to your experience. You don't need to do anything for it. Just let it be confirmed to you all the time. In fact, everything is reminding you, even in your perception is reminding you, that this can never be real, because it shows you something that has nothing to do with perfection or infinity. So don't let yourself be fooled by the appearances, because right next to it stands this whole full-blown experience of your totality. Now this is something that I'm going to share that with you, of course. So it's like there's something there that is from chapter 3, so specifically supporting us today with this. That is really something else. So the lesson is, when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And we'll come back to that in a moment. But then I found this. The level adjustment power of the miracle, level adjustment power, whatever that is, of the miracle, creates the right perception for healing. Until this has occurred, healing cannot be understood. Forgiveness is an empty gesture unless it entails correction. Without this, it is essentially judgment rather than healing. So miraculous forgiveness is only correction. It has no element of judgment at all. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. In no way evaluates what they do. They just don't know what they do. It is strictly limited to an appeal to God to heal their minds. There is no reference to the outcome of their misthought. This does not matter. So it's like the content of the misthought doesn't matter. So this is with everyone that you meet and say like, well, whatever's going on here, it has nothing to do with the love of God. So you can say like, Father, forgive them, they do not know what they do. But here's the essential point. The level adjustment power of the miracle creates the right perception for healing. Until this has occurred, healing cannot be understood. And healing needs to be understood in a certain sense. It needs to be understood. And I'll tell you why. Forgiveness is an empty gesture unless it entails correction. Forgiveness entails correction, otherwise it is like another form of judgment. This means just this. Like, if I still think there's something going on in my dream that affects me, that there's still something going on outside of me that affects me, I'm lost. I really think there's something going on in this world outside of myself. So then I'm just lost again. Now here, I bring that back to myself. I allow that to be corrected. Now I need to understand that this correction is an inner feeling of being connected again. Having this moment of, oh yeah, of course, thank you God, thank you so much that this happens. Like, that experience needs to come. Otherwise nothing has occurred. This is the same in healing. No matter what the appearance is. If I sit still and say like, okay, well, it's an appearance, it's nothing, that's not going to do anything. So until I allow this, in fact, to become an experience within myself, and I feel my connectedness, I feel, in fact, the miracle occur, then I have no questions about it. But I'm literally with my brother, enjoying this moment of release. I'm suddenly free of it. Suddenly there's no issue. I'm finding myself in a different place. It's like this, the level adjustment that was talked about, like the level adjustment where healing can be understood. Healing is really like returning back to the Father's house. Healing is allowing yourself to be taken out of the situation. Not to trying to do anything with the situation, no, to be taken out. That's the miracle. And recognize I'm one with my brother. This is my dream. I'm one with my brother. And this moment is chosen of this moment it has come to me to literally experience my oneness with my brother. So in other words, correction has taken place. And when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. I share this also with my brother, who's here with me. But on the other side, it affects many more, because basically I'm in communication with a whole bunch, with my whole, whatever that is, with my whole brotherhood, with my whole network, with my whole city, with my whole, I don't know. It's like not of your concern how much it affects everything, but of course it affects everything, because you literally adjust time and space into this present moment where you can experience the totality of your being. That is the miracle. So that is the correction that takes place. But see, I love that it in these expressions, which are like from chapter 3, the special instructions for miracle workers. It's like you have to understand here that forgiveness has to basically bring you into a different experience of yourself. Otherwise, nothing has happened. So if I say like my forgive them because they do not know what they do, that on a deep level, I ask for correction. I ask for a different experience for myself. I know that my perception is not it. So I know that what my brother brings to me in terms of limitation or disease or disaster is not truly what is happening. Now I'm going to bring that back to God. Father, please forgive because they do not know what they do. Does it matter what they do? Doesn't matter what they don't understand. No, including what you don't understand, including what I don't understand. It doesn't matter what I don't understand. The thing that matters is that I bring it back to God, so it can be corrected. Like I became willing to let this be changed. This is important. Now all the help can come to me because the universe is waiting for me to bring everything back to the Father's house. To not hold anything as a separate thing, project that I think I need to work on so that salvation can take place at some point. I think, no, it's all right here, right now. And it's always within you. It has nothing to do with anything outside of you. And this is the discovery that you make. Literally, there's no matter what the situation is, there's nothing outside of you. So everything is in fact coming to you because you're the one perceiving all this. That's why it can change too. Now, if you bring it to the place where something constructive can take place, bringing it to God, saying like, I don't know how to look at this. I want to see this differently. Forgive and I will see this differently. I cannot wait for the moment to see this differently. And I'm opening myself up to have that be shown to me now. So then I give it away. And then it will come to me in some kind of way. It will come to me at some point. Whether that is immediately or whether that takes a moment, that's all fine. Like it doesn't take away the efficiency or the beauty of the healing that is occurring. Now this opportunity you have in every situation, since you bring salvation wherever you go, since you are healed and whole, since you are recognizing my will and God's are one. Like there's no conflict here. I'm not in conflict with God. So if I see something that doesn't remind me of my Father, it doesn't give me maybe for a moment I might think like, wow, that's very different than what I know wholeness is going to be, or what wholeness is. So I have to see this differently. Now I can. Now it makes sense. And I only have to forgive myself that I saw it this way. It came to me and I was shaken up by it. And I say like, well, I want to see this differently. This cannot be it, because it doesn't remind me of the perfection and the love that I have experienced or that I know to be true. And that's the loveliness, like you take it with you wherever you go. And there seem to be a lot of them. And these are lessons are very deep and beautiful. So there's a lot to discover here. We cannot look at all of it, but anyway, it's even though it's a deep dive, we just come to the fundamentals of it. Today's idea remains the central thought on which salvation rests, for healing is the opposite of all the world's ideas, which dwell on sickness and on separate states. Sickness is the retreat from others and a shutting off of joining. It becomes a door that closes on a separate self and keeps it isolated and alone. So yeah, this is in a rhyme form. That's why I read it like this too. It's like it's in a rhyme form given. That's totally amazing. Like half of the book is in iambic pentameter. You can read it in a rhythm. That's what I try to do. It's not always working out that well, but at least I make an attempt. Because then the emphasis is on certain words. You listen to this. Today's idea remains the central thought on which salvation rests. And that's the emphasis. For healing is the opposite of all the world's ideas, which dwell on sickness and on separate states. Sickness is retreat from others and the shutting off of joining. It becomes a door that closes on a separate self and keeps it isolated and alone. Sickness is isolation, for it seems to keep oneself apart from all the rest to suffer what the others do not feel. It gives the body final power to make separation real and keep the mind in solitary prison, split apart and held in pieces by a solid wall of sickened flesh which it cannot surmount. The world obeys the laws that sickness serves, but healing operates apart from them. How lovely is that? It is impossible that anyone be healed alone. In sickness must he be apart and separate. But in healing is his own decision to be one again and to accept his self, with a capital S, with all its part intact and unassailed. In sickness does his self appear to be dismembered and without the unity which gives it life. See, in sickness does his self appear to be dismembered, as if you're not a member anymore of totality, of oneness. It's lonely, it's alone, it is depressing. And without the unity which gives it life, it feels as if you die. But healing is accomplished as he sees the body has no power to attack the universal oneness of God's Son. See, healing is accomplished as he sees the body has no power to attack the universal oneness of God's Son. Sickness would prove that lies must be the truth, but healing demonstrates that truth is true. I love it. The separation sickness would impose has never really happened. To be healed is merely to accept what already was the simple truth, and always will remain exactly as it has been forever. The separation sickness would impose has never really happened, because there is no such thing as another world where you can be separate. There's only one world. There's only one life, and that I share with God. There's not another life. To be healed is merely to accept what always was the simple truth, and always will remain exactly as it has forever been. Healing might is called a counter-dream, which cancels out the dream of sickness in the name of truth, but not in truth itself, just as forgiveness overlooks all sins that never were accomplished. Healing but removes illusions that have not occurred. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. Healing must be called a counter-dream, which cancels out the dream of sickness in the name of truth, but not in truth itself. just as forgiveness overlooks all sins that never were accomplished. Healing but removes illusions that have not occurred. It removes illusions that has not occurred. Wow, that's so beautiful. So I love this. And I love to share that, of course. So we have 3 more minutes. So the wonderful part in this lesson is that it refers back to oneness all the time. Like, okay, here was a moment of separation. You really thought you were separate, but the illusions have been removed. And nothing really occurred. And you how do you know? Well, see, if your forgiveness of that idea becomes complete, it asks only for correction in your perception. So you're going to see it in a different way. And at the same time, you experience the correction. You experience your reconnection with the totality of your being. So this is what we practice here. And this is the opportunity of this lesson. This is what is given. Why is that given to us? Why is that given to us? It's like only to come back to your experience of oneness, to your experience of being one with God, to your experience of the love of God. Because in that, everything is healed and whole. And of course, you cannot be separate from what everything is. Of course, God is waiting for you, for the prodigal son to return with open arms, because basically you never left. So it is in that sense, it is not a big deal. It is just something that you made so big in your mind that you really think you did something wrong, and now everything needs to be corrected before you are able to enter to the door. And God says, no, nothing has happened. Come on to me, who are heavy laden, who are tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired, who don't know where to go, who are lonely and afraid. All of them, let them come to me, because nothing really happened. I'm happy to receive you in my house, which is your house. I created you perfect. Nothing has occurred. Nothing can possibly occur to change that. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. I realize that. I give that away to my brothers to say the same message. Like, no, there's no such thing as guilt. No, sin has not occurred and had no effect. No matter what the dramas appear to be in your life, it has nothing to do with it. You cannot use it against God, if you know what I mean. It's like you can't use this against God. God is waiting for you with open arms. And you are returning home, and it actually has occurred. It was successful. You're doing the will of God. The will of God was accepted by the Son of God. In that, you resurrected, you came home, you ascended back into heaven, which is your state of being, recognizing your oneness with every aspect of creation. It is not a place in that sense. No, it's just your mind being whole again. That's the beauty of this. Everything points that direction. Every situation helps you to come home in that. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And I will use the expression that it says, because that's sort of like a real beautiful prayer. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone. And I would share my healing with the world, that sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is my only self. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone, and I would share my healing with the world, that sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is my only self. When I'm healed, I'm not healed alone, and I would share my healing with the world, that sickness may be banished from the mind of God's one Son, who is my only self. See, this is the beauty then we're again with this lesson, that you see, immediately you find yourself in becoming an instrument of healing, you can say. It's like, yeah, you want to give this away. Like, you cannot accept this for yourself and not give it away to your brother. That's the whole thing. Like, otherwise you step into his dream of denial. They're like, no, that's not working anymore. Because the real beautiful healing that has taken place in you is available, and it has happened and is accomplished in everyone. Because I'm not healed alone. Now I'm going to see the witnesses that show me that healing has taken place everywhere. That we are uniting the sonship. That there is no exception to the love of God. That was only my way of relating to everyone, thinking that the world was like this. But coming down to it, joining with my brother in this moment of oneness, everything is one. Now that's what we celebrate with this lesson. So thank you so much for joining today, and I hope to see you in the next episode of Miracles Deep Dive. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.